Hey, welcome to my snare drum closet. It's kind of a lot like collecting shoes. I kind of like to collect snare drums, and I've been working on these snare drum collections for like 40 years. And basically, I like to write songs so that I can play my drums on them. So I'm up to like 210 finished songs now, and I try and use as many of these different snare drums as possible on the songs, and we're keeping good records of it. But I thought today we'd share with you maybe our top 5 or 6 snare drums out of this room. Because people have asked me, what's your top 5? So this is Ben, my audio engineer. He's been with me for how long, Ben? 10 years?
Probably about, yeah. Probably better part of
10 years he's been here. So we trained him from a pup, and he's come on up, and he's just a great engineer. He touches every one of my songs. So he's working on that, helping us get the right mic placement, right snare sounds, and helping us know what sounds good and what needs to be tuned different and all that stuff. So we're going to kind of look through the closet and see what we like. I love, a lot of the stuff over here. So, we start over here in the corner here. We got pretty much the whole Ludwig Superphonic and line there, and a bunch of different sizes. This one was owned by Dave Weckl. I bought that off Dave Weckl. But I would have to pull my first drum, and I'll let Ben pull the second drum. I'm going to pull this Craviotto, half copper, half brass. Oh, it's hard to get out of here. As you can see, we played this a little bit. This is a hard to find drum, and they just made a limited number of these, but I like, it's got the attack of the brass and the mellowness of the copper. So that's really a great drum. So we're going to pull that out, and we're going to mic that up and show you that later. Okay, what else do you like, Ben?
Well, I'm traditionally kind of a rock guy, so my choice, I think, would be this replica of the 70s Tama Bell Brass Classic. Weighs about 9,000 pounds.
There it is.
That.
That's right. I had that made by Savage Drums, and they basically had the cast of the shell made exactly to the Tama specifications. And this is all Tama original hardware that they bought off different Tama drums and then assembled that. So this song can be heard on all the great 80s rock and roll songs, and Bon Jovi and people like that, Guns N' Roses. It was kind of the go-to sound for those songs back then in the 80s and 70s and even the 90s. A lot of people go to this drum. So this is kind of a replica, but this drum right now would retail for about $5,000, maybe even $7,500, $8,000 on the secondary market on eBay or something like that. But we didn't pay near that for it, and it sounds very nice. So that's the second drum. Okay. The third drum. Well, I've got to go top 5 for sure. Let's go down here. Where's it at? Where's my Weckl? Here's my Weckl. This drum, played by Dave Weckl in a clinic at Explorers Percussion. Those of you who know were there. Back when he did the Maple Customs, right after the Recording Customs, he went to the Black Maple Customs. But this drum, double strainer, is just a beautiful. I have it in the 14 and the 15. And man, this thing has got so much throat. And what we talk about is throat, it sounds like it just has a lot of presence and it keeps going. And I don't know if it's because it's a shorter shell, it's like 5. So you can geek out on this stuff and say, well, do you want a 6.5, or do you want a 5.5, or do you want a 5? I can tell you this maple drum works great for ballads. I've used it a lot. It's hard for me to not play this on a ballad. These are hard to find, out of production. Dave Weckl signature classic 14-inch Yamaha Maple Custom drum. That is definitely in my top 5. So it's Ben's time to pick another one. Ben, tell me one of your top 5s.
I think I'm going to have to go over here with these Aputure Peisty snares. We've got 2 of them here, but my pick is going to be the 14.
Great choice. So the story on these, I was at the clinic at Explorers Percussion when Jeff Ochiltree was there with Wes Faulkner, and he was selling all these drums for about $1,300 or $1,400. Now they go for like $7,000, $6,000, pick a number. It's crazy. But this is all made out of Peisty 2002 cymbals. Can you get that badge there? These are all melted down cymbals from the 2002 line. And this is just an incredible drum. We're definitely going to mic this up and play it for you. So it's It's a different kind of brass. It's not a traditional brass. It's a different brass. And these things are like really hard to find. Very limited edition. We got the 14 and the 13, but I don't have all the sizes that I want. My buddy Rudy from the Las Vegas Drum Show, which is a great drum show, by the way. Next one's coming up in March of this year, 2023. My buddy Rudy has pretty much the whole collection. And I go out there and look at them all. They're just absolutely beautiful. He's been working on his great collection. And like I said, the Paiste 2002 melted down. There's like 4 drums from this collection. I've got about 2 of them. And now they're just, you can't touch one for under $6,000. But I was there with Wes Faulkner when we bought these, so it's a great memory. Great choice, Ben. Okay, choice number 4, got to go with the classic, the Ludwig Acrolite. This is 1967. My buddy Aaron Mayfield swears by this drum. He loves this drum. But you see the Keystone badge, and I got this from Dave Autry. And he hasn't learned my lesson of never sell anything unless you hate it. That is my philosophy on drums. I never sell it unless I absolutely hate it. But this is in good hands. We tracked this many times. Great traditional classic Acrolite, and we love it. So that's definitely one of our choices.
All right, I think for my third pick, I'm gonna go with this Paul Lime snare. I think from a recording standpoint, it doesn't get much better than this.
Another instant classic, signature line from Yamaha. And it's just a great drum. Everybody loves this drum. All the engineers love this drum. And it just has great tone and attack and snares. And I love the 6.5. It's great. Okay, let's go down here. I got something for you. This, if you guys know, the first annual and only annual Drumeo Drum Day. It was like a 3-day weekend right before COVID. So we did this in 2020, February 2020. And that was an amazing, great event. I was also at the Buddy Rich Memorial Scholarship event, I think in 1986 or whenever that was. That might be 87. That was an epic drumming event, just kind of like this Drumeo was. So these are the snares that Chris Coleman played that day. So anytime you see that Drumeo video with Chris Coleman killing it, he signed them right there. So we got this one was his main snare, and then we have the side snare. And I've tracked this a couple of times. This is like Beach or something. Yeah, it's Beach. Chris Coleman, this is on his left side during the Drumeo event. So that is really just a great snare drum. Great memories, Drumeo. You know, sometimes collecting drums are like, I'm with friends. You know, I just bought some drums last week. I was out with Jim Riley in Nashville. And then I was also out with my buddy Keo Stroud, and we picked out some drums, so sometimes I remember these drums based upon who I was with. So I'm going to show another drum here real quick. I just bought it with Jim Riley. We haven't tracked it, but I'm going to show this to you. So I will remember this drum because I was with Jim Riley when we bought this and remember hitting it and all that stuff. So these are like good memories, you know. So this is a Slingerland Radio King. Very hard to find. Maple shell. Modified by a great Nashville session drummer. And I really respect his modifications, which is why I bought it. I don't really like too much vintage stuff that looks like it's old and not going to hold up good. But this guy, we had the same holes as the original Radio King had. So they put a Ludwig throw off on it. And then they put this DW with 3 adjustments on the other side. And I respected, like I say, I respected his mod so much I bought this. So we're looking forward to tracking this. This has been used on many hit records in Nashville. The previous drummer that owned it just had something different and wanted to downsize a little bit, which I haven't learned to do yet because I haven't found anything I hate. But anyway, we're going to put this on the mic and show it to you too. And this is the hard to find, God rest his lovely soul, Indugo Chancellor signature snare from Yamaha. It's very hard to find as a collector. And I bought this from my buddy Keo Stroud. And actually, Keo made me buy it. He said, Jim, this is a hard drum to find. You need to get this drum. And he hit it, and that was it. So we have not tracked this yet either, but we'll put that under the mic for you and let you hear that too. It's time-tested, true, hard to come by. And like I say, a lot of these are memories. I'll remember these drums based upon where I traveled to. And, you know, instead of spending money gambling or doing something like that, I buy snare drums, and I have it in my collection. I actually use them. I track songs, and I think about when I write a song, what snare drum am I going to use? And I go to my collection and think of what sound we're going for. And there it is. So we're going to show you all these under the mic, and you're going to enjoy listening to them. So check it out.
All right, well, now that we've picked out our 8 favorite snares from the studio, we should obviously let everyone give them a listen. I feel like the easiest way to do this is if we had, I don't know, maybe an Audix i5 and a Shure Beta. Hey, well, this looks convenient. Why don't we get these drums set up right here, hit them a few times, and see what y'all think? All right, so we're not doing this too scientifically. I'm going to run everything dry through Chandler LTD1s, top and bottom. I'm going to go ahead and bypass the EQs on both. And for some, we're going to add this awesome snare weight M1B. It's a great dampening system. And all these drums were tuned to whatever we tracked them with last. We're just pulling them out of the closet, giving them a few smacks, and seeing what happens. So enjoy. And with that, we will bid you farewell. As you can see, this is just a small sampling of what we have to offer. We're going to be, in the coming months, working really hard to bring some sample packs. Let us know in the comments what drums you like, which ones you don't like. Again, we have a huge selection here, and we'd love to help everyone out with purchases, samples, this, that, and the other. Give some good, honest reviews, and spread the love a little bit. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.